Yes, people, welcome back to another breakdown of obviously a review. Newcastle 5, Crystal Palace at nil, or Newcastle, or the Toon against the Eagles. Sorry, I'm not good at this, but what a win. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I am not a liar. Yeah, I did not watch this game live. But what I did do right now, in time of recording, it is nearly 4 minutes to 2 in the morning. I've been watching the game back. And oh my word, what a slaughtering. That was nothing short of insane. Wow. Jacob Murphy keeps, ever since I've mentioned this guy or been notified by you lot, this guy is just, everything he touches turns to gold. Like, if we're talking about crossing, which was today, by the way, one of the assists from one of the crosses could say that, or a cutback to Isak, which he should have finished off. Or let me know in the comments, by the way, was that a shot or was that a cross? Let me know. Now we've got another Tonali situation on our hands. So was it a shot or was it a cross? Did he really mean it? Did he really mean it? Anyways, nothing short of sublime. I must admit, I am in absolute shock of what I saw. It was overwhelming, is the question. Now, Newcastle are the most informed team in the league. And you know what? I'm going to start different because obviously I'm too tired to, at this moment in time, to do, you know how I usually do a breakdown. I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to go from back to front, right? And then I'm going to give my opinion from there. Nick Pope. Ever since Nick Pope has returned from injury, you guys have definitely seen an upturn in your form when it comes to the defense. And I'm not just saying that because of today, because I mentioned him in the last video. And I mentioned him about 2 videos before that, right? Save the penalty today. Something that's one to his strengths. What's not to his strengths, obviously, is his kicking. But he has saved your skins. Nice clean sheet today. It's everything you've lot needed, right? Just to keep going, keep fighting, keep marching on because Champions League is there. But that man has been vital in the form. When I have said, right, to others, don't sleep on Newcastle because reason being, every time, and this is Eddie Howe's tenure, every time there is the last international break finishes, Newcastle come alive. How I know this, I remember because straight after our Carabao Cup, right, or even the half of the year that Eddie Howe had to settle with Newcastle as well, by the way, or the Toon. Sorry if you can't stand the accent. Literally, the uptake in form's mad. It's like every time there's a break, you lot don't get a break because you just go on a win and run. And right now, it's exactly what's happened. 5 wins in a row recently in the last 5 games. Never thought that after all the, like, you know, when you got smashed up by Bournemouth or you're just leaking goals here and there. You know, he's like, what's the issue here? But yeah, I think it's plaudits. So I think he needs a little bit of a round of applause, not obviously, or a little bit of flowers from obviously the fan base. It doesn't get spoken about enough, right? Now, that first goal, Jacob Murphy. Now, you lot are going to have to correct me because I haven't actually got the stats up right now. I'm trying to flicker through it. But last time we spoke, he was sitting on 15 goals and assists. I think it was 15, if not 16, right? Now, I believe he's registered a goal and assist. So that would mean he's on 17. When I say he doesn't get spoken about enough, when other players get 20 GA, right? They always get mentions. So why is he not getting a mention? For someone that's meant to be a squad player or something like that, or not the best, I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? They're not even like their rubbish goals or assists. They're mint. Anyways, I said to go from back to front. So we'll do exactly that while I try to find his stats as well, yeah. Fabian Shaw, Dan Burn, Trippier, Livramento. Even though that is not your best your best back four, they're working as a solid unit. Trippier's little remontada of form since he's obviously, you know, Livramento was taking his position, the new guy that was coming in the door to take the role for the future. Again, every game he's been like fantastic. Doesn't get ripped to bits. Doesn't literally get skinned. Doesn't put in poor deliveries like he's getting old. Still keeping up with the game. Dan Burn chipping in all the time. And if it's not Dan Burn chipping in, it's Fabian Shaw chipping in. Do you remember that goal, even for against Leicester? Even though he hit the bar and then obviously got the rebound, it doesn't matter how you see it. They are providing. And obviously, Livramento is he's just gravy. He's just gravy. Simple as that. Oh, he just had his bog standard game today. Not to say he played poor. He just had his bog standard. I'm going to give you a 7 today. A little bit like Aspilicueta, the Mr. Consistency. I think Livramento is getting a bit of a name for himself as Mr. Consistency. And I think that's definitely well deserved, in my opinion, there. I would like to think that Bruno Gomes and Joe Linton had pretty, I would say they had kind of quietish games. But the reason being for they had quietish games is because they didn't actually need to do anything. Because the man that was literally marauding that midfield, taking control, again, it's that Italian stallion. I can't stop talking about it. Tonali. If you saw the dash he did to go back to tackle Will Hughes, oh my word. Oh my word. How was he even caught up? Crystal Palace on a break. Snap. He was just up on the other end of the pitch. He was just see that midfield three. Every time I watch that midfield three, and I have to go watch my technically midfield four, every time I have to witness, I say, why can my midfield not be like that? Yeah. For me, his supposed, overall ratings when I was seeing after a game, I'm like, you know what? Let me see who's had a good game and whatnot, according to ratings. So he was quite low on the spectrum. I don't think no, he wasn't. He was the man. Even Joe Linton, like, because he doesn't get his goal or assist, which today he did get his assist, by the way. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like everything else that gets added up, right? This is why it's things like sofa scores, bollocks, right? Is because they don't add in the extra stuff like work rate. How about recovery tackles? And I know they do record that, but it's not like it's given enough. What about just keeping it nice and short and like as a unit and keeping it tight and compact so there's no space? Because Crystal Palace had no sniffs. It was easy. And you know what? It's not because Crystal Palace were bad. They were known as one of the best away teams in the league. Conceded 11, went to Man City, conceded 16 without Gay. Didn't have Nketiah as a sub either, so that was a different option. But they had Gay today, and he still leaked him 5 goals. Maybe they got one. Maybe they got one eye on the final potentially, or one eye on the semi-final. I don't want to use that as an excuse because at the end of the day, yeah, they got smashed and outclassed. Simple as that. Now, if we go into the forward line, this is where we put Isak. Right, I'm going to start with Isak. This is why you put Isak on another level. Today, you would say, Isak got his goal. What a finish, by the way. Bottom bins. The hardest chance he could finish, he wraps up, which is mental, yeah. But for me, it's like you expect more from him. Was it his best game? No. In terms of everything else, he was just normal, solid, your average Isak. But it's like you put him on another pedestal, right? You put him onto another level. He should have came away today with 2 goals, if not a hat trick, in my opinion. And I thought, you know what? It doesn't matter because everyone shared a goal today. It's not just about him, but for what he lies in ambition and where he wants to be, obviously, golden boot winner. That's it. It's them moments. And, like, recently, who's been really taking all the plaudits about who's going to fire in front of goal is Harvey Barnes. Now, what a player to take. Obviously, Gordon, he gets a lot of praise, but a lot of it hasn't gone towards Harvey Barnes. He is an absolute shooter. He ripped up that right-hand side of Palace's side all game long, right? And I'm just making sure it was because it was Chris Richards. I thought he might have come off. He didn't come off, to be fair. Chris Richards and Munoz. The amount of tracking back he had to do because of the amount of breaks Newcastle, literally, you just played into your hands the way Newcastle don't mind it. You're going to play your game, get a couple goals, and then you're going to sit back and kind of just hit on transition, right? Keeping up with Harvey Barnes, oh my days, like keeping up with the Kardashians. This man was absolutely running riot. Yeah. And that finish was outrageous again. He is definitely one of Newcastle's best finishers, and he's warranting a place right now. You know what? If Anthony Gordon wants to get in his side, he better work hard because not only with Harvey Barnes, but you've also got Jacob Murphy, by the way, who, like Mitchell and the rest of the crew, again, can't pick him up. He does so many different shadow runs. You don't understand where he's on the pitch. They're too big. What I found today, right, is Gay, Chris Richards, and whatnot, and all the other lot. They were kind of ball watching a bit, like thinking like where the ball is. But what they're not seeing is the runs off the ball. And when I mean off the ball, Tonali off the ball runs, Murphy off the ball runs. They already have to look at Isak, by the way. And they're not even thinking about where Trippier is. Because Trippier just kept holding up a line, like more inverted, I would say today. He's just picking up the ball and just playing it, laying it off. And they couldn't handle that. Really couldn't handle that. And I thought, you know what? That little partnership they got going on at the moment on that right-hand side, fair play. Because you know what? In your third place now, you got, I think you got Aston Villa next, if I'm correct, on Saturday. What a big game, by the way. Now it's time to get yourselves away from everybody else that's trying to chase a spot that you're seeking at the moment. That's it. I don't have to tell you. Jason Tindall doesn't have to tell you. The players don't need to. It's just the easy thing to say, and that's overall. Overall, you're smashing it, and I'm loving it, and I'm glad I watched that because I was thoroughly entertained. Everyone was obviously watching more time or less Arsenal versus Real Madrid, Champions League. But that's a game I said I can't miss this. I thought, you know what, I've got to make a video on this. I've been quite consistent with the other videos. So if you have done so in the past, please like the video, subscribe if you're new. I do a lot of these different types, and then yeah, kudos to you. I'm really rooting for Newcastle. I used to hate you. I used to get on my nerves, maybe because of specs and other content creators. It's more like that kind of thing. Nothing malicious, but you lot play football, and I just think this is how you play football. This is it. Football does not need to be complicated. Way Eddie Howe's getting setting up different things. You know what makes me a little bit more proud is the fact that I'm English, right? And it's nice seeing an English manager thriving, but yet again doesn't get all the deserved flowers. Won the cup. That buzz went quite quickly, and then now he's going to probably put another team, the same team before, a year after, back into the Champions League, right? Which you should have been in the Europa League this year. Let's be real sorry about that. But back into another the competition, or was it Conference League? Maybe I might be wrong on that one. But Bob's your uncle, isn't it? But I just don't think it gets spoken about enough. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully we can go back to a new one. And on to Saturday, I'll be making the next video. So peace in a bit. Dan Burn, yeah, man. I like him, man. I like him. Not gonna lie, I like him.